Part 6. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 51. Ella, what do you mean by this? Didn't we agree to leave together? Kesha's voice immediately rang out, and Liang Bing also echoed. Yes, although I don't like to see you, it was already decided when we made the battle plan. When Tianquan's plan is successful, we will use the space nodes calculated in advance by Tianren to jump out of the Marrow Galaxy, and then we will meet again after getting rid of the entanglement of Huaye's bastard men. Before Ella could speak, He-11's voice came faintly. Kesha, Liang Bing, stop talking. Immediately order the Sky Blade to jump and leave the Marrow Galaxy. Otherwise, you won't be able to leave in a while. As soon as He-11 finished speaking, Kesha and Liang Bing also reacted and quickly asked their subordinates to bring up the picture of the Tianjian flagship. After watching it, they both fell silent. Kesha and Liang Bing had previously focused on Tianquan's plan and did not check the battlefield carefully. When Hexi reminded them, they discovered that the Tianren where Ella was had been captured. At this moment, He-11, who was sitting in a high seat in the command room of Tianji Legion's flagship Tianren, closed his eyes, with a faint trace of moisture in the corners of his eyes. A projection was playing in front of He-11 at the moment, which was exactly where the Heavenly Sword Legion was located in the four corners of Merlot's homeland. In the picture, the Sky Blade flagship belonging to the Sky Sword Legion is billowing with thick smoke and violently burning fire. At the same time, it is sandwiched precariously between two Tiangong flagships that are slightly larger than it. At the very beginning, He-11 discovered that the direction where the male angels concentrated their forces to attack was the direction of the Heavenly Sword Legion. Because the main force of the attack by the male angels was a total of 5 Tiangong flagships, but 2 of them immediately found the flagship of the Tianjian Legion as soon as the battle started. Others, such as Kesha's Sky Blade Legion, Liang Bing's Apocalypse Legion and her own Tianji Legion, received only average attacks. But even in this case, He-11 felt that the defense was very reluctant, because the 4 army commanders knew that this war was destined to fail from the beginning. Regardless of the numerical gap between the two sides, it is difficult to make up for the gap in the strength of ordinary soldiers in the legions. In this battle, the Tiangong group brought a total of more than 600,000 ordinary Angel Legion soldiers and thousands of fleets of affiliated civilizations. But so far, the Heavenly Palace Order has invested nearly half of its troops, of which the number of male angel warriors is less than 400,000. On the contrary, there were nearly 500,000 regular female angel warriors before the war began. However, after the battle in the outer space of Marrow Star, the number was reduced by about 1/3. This is also the reason why the female angel army relied on the Sky Blade and the forts on the ground of Marrow Home to defend themselves. However, Hexi's carefully designed defense system for the Merlot homeland did not delay the battle. Soon after the war started, it was destroyed by the Tiangong group's decisive attack with star-killing energy. This caused variables in the plan, causing the flagship of the Tianjian Legion to be flanked by 2 Tiangong flagships, and the biggest reliance on delaying time was also forcibly destroyed by the Tiangong side. Although there were many things in He-11's mind, the reality only lasted for a moment. He-11 reopened his blue eyes that were as bright as the stars in the sky and gave an order. Start the space jump and target the space node calculated in advance. Send the operation code of the Stellar Energy Gathering Reactor in Marrow Homeland to the commander of the Sky Sword Corps. Yes, Commander Hexi. Dozens of female angels controlling the projection screen below responded in unison. At this moment, the 4 Heavenly Blade battleships belonging to the female angels have completed the order to gather the female angels. Because the shields of the other 3 Heavenly Blades were still there, although there was constant fire harassment from the Tiangong flagship, they did not suffer too many casualties when gathering the angel warriors. Only the flagship of the Sky Sword Legion suffered heavy casualties when it gathered the angel warriors defending outside. In the end, due to the death of a large number of first and second level guardian angels, it directly evolved into a rout. A large number of male angels rushed into the sky blade and surrounded and killed the female angels who were preparing to leave the Marrow Galaxy through the escape ship space jump. The space node has been calculated and the space disturbance wave value is being cracked. The crack is successful and the space door is opening. An angel below raised his head and reported to He-11. He-11's expression instantly became very solemn and he answered immediately. Start the space jump immediately. A giant circular space door suddenly appeared behind the Skyblade battleship where He-11 was, and the huge Skyblade battleship quickly disappeared behind it. By the time the Tiangong flagship, which had been harassing them, reacted, it was already too late, because the circular space door was closing rapidly. Then Kesha's flagship of the Skyblade Legion and Liangbing's flagship of the Apocalypse Legion, the Skyblade, also disappeared in the space gate that appeared behind the battleship and jumped out of the Marrow Galaxy. The Marrow homeland on the surface of Marrow Planet, which was originally scorched by war, instantly left only the only Skyblade hanging in the sky. Ella walked back and returned to her exclusive seat as commander of the Heavenly Sword Legion. On the wall behind her was a white relief of a huge sword suspended in the sky and golden light patterns on the side. Kesha, Hexi, Liangbing, the next mission to change the fate of the female angels depends on you. I only have one wish. If possible, rebuild the Heavenly Sword Legion in the future. As soon as she finished speaking, Ella held the special flaming sword in front of her, and the energy circuit hidden in the frosted sword body began to glow with a faint dazzling light. Connect to the star energy gathering reactor of Marrow Homeland, adjust the star energy gathering speed to the maximum, and cancel the energy supply in all areas of Marrow Homeland. As soon as Ella finished speaking, two blood-stained female angels glided to Ella's exclusive seat. Ella lowered her head and couldn't help but close her eyes sadly, because the two female angel corpses at her feet were her command messenger Angel Zi and tactical analyst Angel Kan. I advise you to just go ahead and capture them, so that you can suffer less. The gap between the first generation and the third generation cannot be leveled by so-called faith. Suri naturally saw the flaming sword in Ella's hand, thinking that Ella wanted to resist, so he stopped and spoke. But what Suri didn't notice was that at this moment, the Marrow homeland outside the Skyblade battleship and the sky hundreds of kilometers around it suddenly dimmed. It's like the sun has set and is about to enter the night, but now it's noon when the sun is high in the sky. A strange male angel looked up at the sun and found that the light it emitted was very dim, like an electric energy bulb with insufficient voltage. Underneath the Mellow homestead, which no one noticed, a metal facility several thousand meters long began to emit a piercing alarm, which echoed far away in the silent and deserted corridors. In a hall, the energy bars showing various energy stability indexes began to rise linearly, turning into dazzling red. Ella, who had her eyes closed, suddenly laughed softly and murmured unknown words in her mouth. What did you say? Suri didn't hear clearly, so he asked directly. It's nothing, I just feel very sorry for the sisters who have always believed in me, because I promised them that I would lead them to see the day when our female angels are no longer oppressed by your male angels. Even if they are still alive, I believe they will not see that day. Suri was tired of Ella's dilly-dallying and planned to subdue Ella directly. Ella took one last look at the last few female angels left in the hall, and then at the rising sun not far in front of her. It's a pity that I can't drag you to death with me. After speaking, Ella held the flaming sword and pressed down hard with both hands. Through the control code transmitted by He-11, Ella gave an order. Large stellar power concentration reactors, self-destruct. The next moment, the stars that had been accumulated for an unknown amount of time exploded in an instant, turning into burning orange light and erupting from the ground of Marrow's homeland, like a spreading orange-red storm that swallowed up all the male angels on the battlefield and the space battleships of the affiliated civilizations. Suri could no longer maintain his calm expression and became extremely shocked, because at this moment the air around him turned red. Extremely terrifying high temperatures filled this hall. Ella watched her white palm quickly turn black and then disintegrate like ashes. The last thought in her mind was, this way of dying is really not romantic at all. Today's second update. I haven't had time to categorize some of the settings in this book. I will post them when I have time in the future. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 52. On the Tiangong, which was parked in the outer space of Marrow Star, Huaye sat on a high throne, with male angel generals standing in 2 rows on the left and right below. The atmosphere at the scene was very silent, and no one spoke. Because of this battle against the female angel base camp, the Tiangong group suffered a huge loss. Although Tiangong's side won the victory in the end, no one present could be happy. 3 of the 4 celestial warships of the female angel escaped, especially the Legion commander named Ella, who was behind the female angel. She detonated the stellar energy gathering reactor on Marrow, killing nearly 100,000 male angel Legion soldiers and countless affiliated civilization battleships. It can be said that this time the Tiangong group's scenic spots were defeated. Huaye was so angry that his nose was crooked, and he even executed all the female angel prisoners to vent his hatred. You must know that the position of King Tiangong was not very stable in the first place, and now more than 10% of his troops were directly eliminated, which made Huaye feel heartbroken. What? Why don't you say anything? This battle has been really frustrating. It was so good, why did it suddenly happen like this? Seeing that his subordinates were silent, Huaye spoke first to break the silence. Sui, as the commander-in-chief, tell us the reasons for the failure of this war. Seeing that no one had come forward yet, Huaye had no choice but to call the name by himself. Suri's face also lost its usual calmness and looked a little lonely. When he heard Huaye calling him, he had no choice but to step forward and half kneel on the ground facing Huaye. Reporting to King Tiangong, I did not judge the battle situation well this time and caused the Legion to suffer such a huge loss. I am willing to be punished. What's the use of punishing you? Can it be exchanged for my king's 100,000 troops? I want to know how we killed so many people. Huaye pointed at Suri and kept swearing, obviously not wanting to hear these perfunctory words. Suri didn't speak. What could he say? It was because you kept holding on to the elite guardsmen and refused to let go, so he could only use ordinary soldiers to fight against the female angels. And if Huaye hadn't ordered to capture Kesha, Liang Bing, and other female angels Legion commanders alive, Suri would have used a Star Destroyer strike outside Marrow Star to smash the female angels Skyblade and Marrow Star into pieces. Huaye became furious when Suri remained silent, but soon Suri's friend stood up. King Tiangong, calm down. The reason why we lost so many troops this time is because we fell into Kesha's scheme. A tall and handsome male angel with a ponytail tied behind his head spoke. What? Chen Xing, do you see the reason? Chen Xing nodded and walked a few steps to the center of the platform below Huaye. He looked around at his colleagues before speaking slowly. Kesha and the others had no intention of fighting us to the death from the very beginning. The first time we fought against the female angels was in the outer space of Marrow planet. At that time, not long after our Tiangong group's main angel legion entered the battlefield, Kesha and the others began to gather their forces and retreat, leaving the vast outer space to us so that we could surround Marrow planet. And because of the space disturbance waves scattered around the Marrow galaxy, we cannot conduct space jump pursuit. This is the real reason why Kesha and the others can escape. Coupled with the news coming from Tiancheng, this war itself is Kesha's plan to attack the east and attack the west. Their real target is the Central Academy of Sciences, which was Tiancheng from the beginning. Kesha, who stayed on Marrow Star, just used herself as the bait to lure us into taking the bait, and we also fell into the trap. As for the tens of thousands of troops who were killed because of the star's power in the end, it was not Suri who was responsible for it, on the contrary. If it weren't for Rising Sun's strategy of focusing on one location, we would have lost even more troops. Chenexing's speech was very convincing, but everyone, including Hua Ye, only had one idea in mind at the moment. There's no point in using hindsight at this time. Hua Ye also calmed down a little at this time. Although it is good that the loss of the male angel was a bit heavy, the loss of the female angel will only be more severe. Not to mention that the base camp has become a lava pit hundreds of kilometers away, and about half of the female angel warriors have been lost. Then what should we do with Kesha's bitch next? Don't tell me and just forget it? Hua Ye sat on the throne again, put his hands on the armrests and returned to his usual calm appearance. Chen Xin continued to speak towards Hua Ye. King, of course we can't forget it like this. According to Qinchen's statistics, the female angels kidnapped all the female scientific researchers when they attacked Tiancheng, and stole all the equipment from the first-generation super warriors to the second-generation god-making project material. And we must not give the female angels who possess this information time to develop, otherwise they will only become a serious problem for us. In addition, this time the female angel was able to bypass Tianquan's defense system and sneak in secretly. She must have the help of someone inside Tiancheng. Chen Xing said that the people present at this stage were not fools. You mean there is a traitor in Tiancheng? Xingniu, who had an upright personality, spoke directly from his heart, and Hua Ye's expression turned ugly, and he slapped the armrest of the throne with his palm. It seems like those old guys don't want to live anymore. King Tiangong, please calm down, now is not the time to dwell on the internal problems of Tiangong. The most urgent thing to deal with now is the escaped female angels. We must send troops to pursue them as soon as possible and eliminate them before they can digest the information they stole from the Academy of Sciences. Chenexing's words were extremely harsh, and even Hua Ye, who was sitting on the throne, swallowed secretly. The impact of the battle on Marrow Star was much greater than Hua Ye and Kesha expected. I don't know who came out with the news, saying that Hua Ye suffered a big loss in the Marrow Galaxy, and was tricked by the female angel to kill an army of 200,000. At the same time, his hometown Tiancheng was also attacked by the female angel and suffered heavy losses. However, Hua Ye responded quickly and immediately claimed to the outside world that he had defeated the main force of female angels without any effort. Now the female angels are like prodigal dogs running around in the angel nebula. At the same time, Hua Ye, as the king of angels, also issued an order to encircle and suppress female angels to the expatriate kings who guarded the angel nebula. This caused Kesha, Hexi, and Liang Bing, who had escaped from Mellow Star, to be driven around by the angel legions everywhere. As for the defeated remnants of the Heavenly Sword Legion, because their target was too small, they were pursued by only a fleet of 10,000 angel legions, led by a second-generation super soldier level deputy commander. Binghua's injuries have recovered after treatment. At the moment, she is staying in the cabin of the escape ship in a daze, thinking about her future plans. There were originally close to 6,000 angel warriors under his command, but now there were less than 3,000 left. This was the number that Binghua had only reached after gathering the remaining soldiers along the way. Because there was no higher level guardian angel to lead them, these female angels who were gathered together by Binghua voluntarily came under Binghua's command. As for the idea of establishing one's own business, this does not exist among female angels. Although the system of the female angel corps is still a bit imperfect. But whether it is a first-level guard angel or another level of guard angel, they have to go to the battlefield with their subordinates. This is the reason why so many first-level and second-level guard angels have fallen. One update for today, and the remaining one will be added at noon tomorrow. The collection of this book is a bit small, only a little over 500. I also ask all friends and readers who are passing by to click on the collection and vote for more recommendations. These are the motivation for the author to code. In addition, I would like to thank Shwejianti and Luo for the reward and justice order for the total reward of 700 coins today, and the reward for Backcourt Legacy Song is 400 coins. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 53. As for the last message from the former Legion commander Ayla, Binghua also felt very uncomfortable in his heart. The scene after joining the Heavenly Sword Legion kept replaying in his mind. Binghua made a vow in her heart that no matter how difficult it was, she would rebuild the Heavenly Sword Legion and avenge Ayla, the Legion commander who voluntarily left behind. As for Binghua now, she couldn't show a trace of weakness or confusion, because thousands of female angel warriors under her command were paying attention to her. If Binghua shows a confused attitude, the confidence of the entire team may collapse. How's the situation? Binghua came to the bridge and asked. Angel Ran, who had been staying in the command room, quickly answered. The enemy is still pursuing us and has no intention of giving up. If we continue like this, they will be able to catch up with us when the battleship's energy is exhausted. After hearing this, Binghua felt that the situation was not good. The female angels carried in the fleet were at a time when their morale was at its lowest, and it was unrealistic to fight back. Then the only option is to escape, but where to escape is a question. Nowadays, the reputation of female angels in the entire angel civilization is not good. Under the propaganda of Huaye's Tiangong group, they are a group of rebels who conspire to rebel. Anyone from all walks of life can shout and kill. Although Binghua has been recovering in his room recently, he is not wasting his time. The experience of running away during this period has allowed Binghua to grow a little. From a first-level guardian angel who only knew how to charge into battle, he began to think from the perspective of a commander. I have to say that this is a great progress. Although there are many things that I don't understand, Binghua is exploring it very seriously. I also made several stupid mistakes along the way, which caused the fleet to be almost chased by the male angels' pursuit force. Superior. One of them was accidentally discovered by an angel-affiliated civilization. The other party claimed to support the female angels' fight against the Order of the Heavenly Palace and was willing to provide resource support. In the end, if Binghua hadn't felt that the other party had some ill intentions and decisively ordered to leave the control of the affiliated civilization for the sake of safety, it is estimated that the escape fleet where Binghua was now would have become a prisoner of the male angel. Binghua pondered for a long time but still couldn't think of any good way to get rid of the male angel. In the end, he could only give it a try and asked Angel Ran beside him. Do we have a star map of the surrounding star fields? Yes, Sister Binghua, I will call up the surrounding star maps. The next moment, star maps of dozens of galaxies around the fleet's location were projected in front of Binghua. Binghua scanned the names of the galaxies marked on the star map and found that there was no suitable place to hide around. I can't fight again and again, and I can't run away. What should I do? Time passed little by little, and Binghua thought quietly for several hours, his eyes constantly scanning the star map. During this period, no one disturbed Binghua. Although there are several desolate star systems surrounding Binghua's fleet, and the resources are not scarce, the location is not concealed enough. It is estimated that Huaye's men will find them as soon as they take root. However, the better location had an affiliated civilization of angels, and Binghua did not dare to go there. Although she was not afraid of those affiliated civilizations, she could not bear the news that those civilizations would leak out. You must know that if you report the traces of the female angel now, you will get a heavy reward from the King of Heavenly Palace. In the end, Binghua gritted his teeth and said, since you are willing to chase, I will let you chase. Let's see who is more patient. Ran, order the fleet to move towards this position. Since we can't get rid of those tails, let's play a game of hide and seek with them. Binghua pointed at the Carrot Galaxy not far from the edge of the Angel Nebula on the star map and said. That was the battlefield where the angel civilization fought with a powerful civilization a long time ago. Several star systems in that star field were bombarded to pieces by star-killing weapons. Coupled with the continuous attraction of asteroids in this area, it has now become a large-scale asteroid belt. There are countless asteroids of different sizes scattered throughout, making it a great place to play hide and seek. Binghua's plan is that since they can't get rid of it, everyone will play hide and seek to see who is more patient. There were 3 reasons why Binghua chose this place. The first was to avoid direct conflict with the pursuers. Now that Binghua had no soldiers, one of his female angels would die. The second asteroid belt is easier to collect resources, and the area is large enough, which is very suitable for their thousands of troops to hide. The third is that it is far enough away from the ruling center of angel civilization. If Huaye sends a large army to encircle and suppress it, there will be enough time. At that time, Binghua can choose to withdraw from Angel Nebula to avoid being crushed by the army. Binghua left the bridge after giving the order. Binghua didn't need to worry about the driving matters. Otherwise, she would be too tired as a first-level escort angel, and she would leave all the fleet scheduling matters to Angel Ran. After returning to the room, Binghua continued to think, to see if there was anything else that he had not taken into consideration. Within a few days, Binghua's fleet used jump navigation to reach the cross system, and then plunged into the vast sea of asteroids. Naturally, the chasing male angels were not far behind. Almost as soon as Binghua stepped forward, they jumped to the Kara galaxy. Then Binghua led Tiangong's pursuit troops like walking a dog in the asteroid sea. During this period, Binghua used the molecular synthesizer on the spacecraft to create a light and shadow reflective layer and several dark information shielding devices for each battleship of the escape fleet, greatly enhancing the concealment of the escape ships. The deputy commander of the Tiangong pursuit force became extremely irritable because of this. It has been half a month and he has not gained anything at all. He is still being led around here by the female angel like a dog. Binghua is playing hide and seek with the pursuing troops here, and others such as Kesha, Hexi, and Liangbing are not in a good situation either. Because of the Skyblade battleship, Kesha and the others can occasionally counter-attack and catch the male angels off guard. But because the pursuing force was guarded by third-generation super soldiers, Kesha and the others lost more in the counter-attack than they won. But just 2 months after the Marrow Galaxy Crusade, Kesha finally fired the king bomb she had stolen from Huaye. Kesha secretly contacted the major expatriate kings of the angel civilization and exchanged the first-generation god-making project materials stolen from the Tiancheng Academy of Sciences in exchange for a large amount of precious resources and an agreement not to send troops to female angels and not to prohibit the freedom of female angels within their jurisdiction. The Tiangong side had no knowledge of this secret agreement. As for the expatriate kings of the angelic civilization, this was a very special position. They were products of the angelic order during the Huaque period. Because the angel nebula is too vast and the population of the angel clan is too small. So Huaque gave his 10 cousins the title of Angel King and sent them to various resource-rich areas in the angel nebula to guard the territory. Therefore, these male angels who have the title of Angel King are called expatriate kings, and each expatriate king is a genuine third-generation super soldier. At the same time, these foreign kings were given great rights by Huaque. Each of them had an angel legion of 400,000 under his command. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 54. When the complete set of information on the first-generation God-making project that could break the 10,000-year lifespan limit was placed in front of these male angel kings, they all went crazy. As the princes of the angelic civilization, these expatriate kings have all the power, but the only thing they crave is the endless lifespan. As long as a person lives for 1,000 years, he will want to live for another 10,000 years. If he lives for 10,000 years, he will want to live for another 100,000 years, then millions of years, tens of millions of years. It can be said that people always want to get better things, and they will never be satisfied with the status quo. The previous king of angels, Huake, was too powerful and prohibited any angel in the angel civilization except the orthodox king of angels from possessing the advancement technology of the divine body, in order to prevent threatening the dominance of the king of angels. At the same time, Huake's ban went beyond that. He was not allowed to expand the legion's establishment without authorization or conduct private research on god-making technology. In addition, when the angel civilization goes out to fight or is invaded, the foreign king needs to send 300,000 troops unconditionally for the angel king to drive together to fight against foreign enemies. This is equivalent to leaving your soldiers with your subordinates to raise them, and then pulling them out during a fight without consuming any of your own resources. This is the reason why the angel order founded by Huake during his reign led the angel civilization to stand out from the many civilizations in the angel nebula and become an unshakable hegemon. But Huake died suddenly, and his only son Huaye succeeded to the throne of the king of angels. If Huaye was a strong master, it would be better to cut through the mess with a sharp knife and scare these foreign kings. But what did Huaye do when he came to power? He supported the young and strong faction and vigorously suppressed the angels of the older generation who had made great achievements. Coupled with Huaye's promotion of hedonism, luxury, and corruption, the entire Tianquan began to slowly become corrupt. In the end, the so-called Heavenly Palace Order was created, requiring the civilizations under its rule to offer beauties of the race and various precious resources, and did not bother to care about various disputes between subordinate civilizations. This leads to powerful subordinate civilizations exploiting weak subordinate civilizations, and weak subordinate civilizations exploiting even weaker civilizations, like a vicious cycle. This phenomenon has even affected the civilization under the rule of the expatriate kings. How can these expatriate kings who have followed Huake through life and death be convinced? But even if they are still unconvinced, these expatriate kings can't do anything. First of all, their own strength does not allow it. But now Kesha has placed the ticket to that throne in front of these expatriate kings. How can these old guys not be tempted? As the saying goes, a person has no ambition just because his strength is not enough. When his strength is enough, ambition will naturally grow. In addition, Huaye neglected to monitor and suppress the foreign kings after he came to power. The legions under these foreign kings have long been overstretched, but they have not been publicized. Coupled with the news that Huaye's crusade against the rebellious female angels resulted in the loss of 100,000 troops, these older generation foreign kings looked down upon Huaye, the so-called king of heavenly palace, even more. In addition, with the first generation god-making technology provided by Kesha, these expatriate kings did not take Huaye seriously and happily completed the deal with Kesha. After the transaction was completed, these expatriate kings gave the green light to the army of female angels led by Kesha, Hexi, and Liangbing, allowing them to travel unimpeded within their jurisdictions. Several generals under Huaye who were pursuing them were furious. At the same time, Kesha did not hide the news and revealed it privately to Huaye through some female angels in Tianquan. After hearing the news, Huaye, who was pointing a butcher knife at the older generation of angels in Tianquan to investigate the traitors in Tianquan, immediately lost his composure. No longer caring about pursuing Kesha Hexi and other female angels, he quickly gathered the hundreds of thousands of troops who were chasing outside and gathered in the angel galaxy to defend Tianquan. Kesha, Hexi, and Liangbing, who finally got rid of the troops being hunted, each found a remote corner in the angel nebula to hide in a low-key manner. On Binghua's side, after the army of male angels who had been chasing after them retreated, Binghua ordered them to settle down in the Keela system. Because there were not many female angels left in the Sky Sword Legion, Binghua did not let the female angels under his command disperse. He directly found an asteroid area close to the star in the cross system and began to establish a base. Binghua counted the female angels under his command who had high-end knowledge reserves, and found that there were not even 10, and the rest were ordinary female angel warriors. Binghua's head hurts a bit. 10 people are not enough to do anything. They can't even build the outer wall of the base. As the saying goes, if there is difficulty, shake your head. Is Sister Hexi here? Binghua started to contact Hexi directly through the system on the battleship. Before he could get rid of the pursuers, Binghua got in touch with Hexi, Kesha, and Liang Bing. Binghua also told them that she wanted to rebuild the Heavenly Sword Legion. Kesha, Hexi, and Liang Bing were all supportive and promised that they could come to them if they had any difficulties. There was no need to be polite between sisters. Now is the time to ask for support, otherwise how will Binghua, who is completely destitute, rebuild the Heavenly Sword Legion? A projection appeared, showing He-11 sitting on the throne in the Tianren battleship. Long time no see Binghua, why, are you free today? No, you haven't chatted with me for so long, and today you suddenly came to see my sister. I guess you must have something to ask of me. A smile appeared on He-11's face, which made the guardian angels working in the command room of the TNG Corps look surprised. You must know that their Legion commander usually looks like a cold royal sister. He is cold to everyone and will not stop until he freezes people to death. Sister Hexi, I really have a trivial matter that I need to ask you for help with. No matter what, as long as I can do it, sister, I will promise you without saying a word. He-11, who was in a good mood, picked up the glass of water next to him and took a sip. Sister Hexi, can you assign me 200 angels with knowledge in materials science, mechanics, and energy science? He-11, who had just taken a sip of water, spat it out, choking and coughing several times before he recovered. Are you robbing me? I'll pay you back 200. Do you think you're a scientific research angel just like cabbage growing in the ground? Binghua's face turned slightly red and she was a little embarrassed, but she risked her life today in order to rebuild the Heavenly Sword Legion. Sister Hexi, don't you only have 200 scientific research angels? You have tens of thousands of people under your command, you won't even give up 200 female angels to me, right? Sister, you just said you would promise me as long as you can do it. Are you, Sister Hexi, lying to me? Binghua pretended to look lost and pitiful, like an abandoned kitten. Looking at Binghua's appearance, although he knew that Binghua was faking it, He-11 just felt like he had a toothache and spat out a number with a face full of pain. 50, can't be more. 150. It can't be any less. Binghua, sister, I want to build a space base here to accommodate hundreds of thousands of angels. It's time to hire people, so I can give you up to 70. 120, Sister Hexi, I only have 2 female angels who are from Merlot Academy. What can 70 female angels do? Sister, do you want to exhaust me to death? Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 55. Binghua and Hexi argued with each other for more than half an hour. During this period, although the two sisters kept making each other miserable, they both enjoyed it. Especially Binghua, who had diluted the worries he had felt recently and felt much more relaxed. In the end, Binghua was more shameless and almost rolled on the ground. In the end, Hexi agreed to transfer 100 angel warriors with scientific research angel talents from the TNG Corps. Afterwards, Binghua followed suit and contacted Kesha and Liang Bing. Kesha, the commander of the Skyblade Legion, is now the leader among the female angels, and has even taken over the thousands of elite angels who attacked Tiancheng. This is the time when she is rich and powerful. Without even cutting the numbers, he directly deployed 200 female angel warriors with high-end knowledge, and also provided 10,000 angel recruits. The leaders of the Apocalypse Army, Liang Bing and Binghua, had a good relationship when they were at Marrow College. The two even discussed the applied knowledge of space wormholes together. Liang Bing has always believed that as long as Binghua strives to develop into space technology, he will definitely achieve great results in the future. After Binghua suffered a misfortune in front of Liang Bing, who had a bold and straightforward personality, waved his hand and mobilized 200 female angels with high-end knowledge without even counting. As a result, Binghua's men increased from about 3,000 to about 14,000 in a short period of time. Binghua knew in his heart that the reason why Kesha and Liangbing were so generous to others was to relieve the guilt in their hearts towards the previous commander of the Heavenly Sword Legion. During the battle on Marrow Star, Kesha and Liangbing's attention was focused on Tianquan's plan. By the time they turned their attention back to Marrow Star, the Tianjian Legion was already on the verge of destruction. Especially Ella's last act of cutting off the Queen and her last words of hope to rebuild the Heavenly Sword Legion are the reasons why Kesha and Liangbing spare no effort to support Binghua now. Through Liangbing's optimization and improvement of long-distance insect door application technology, all personnel were in place in less than a week. Binghua's upcoming female research angels were grouped according to their respective specialized technologies. There is one group for energy science, one group for materials science, and one group each for information science, engineering, and energy application. Next came the hot construction work. The escape ship was directly dismantled by the angels, and the molecular synthesizer and various machinery on it were used at full capacity to produce various parts. Binghua first asked Hexi for the design drawings of the space base, and then revised it with the newly arrived scientific research angels under his command to make it more consistent with the environment of the surrounding asteroid belt. As for the 10,000 newly arrived female angel recruits, Binghua did not have time to train them for the time being, so he asked them to follow the soldiers of the original Heavenly Sword Legion to do some trivial tasks of transporting resources. In order to make up for the disadvantage of insufficient personnel, Binghua proposed the idea of using robots to collect resources, which was recognized by most female angels. So soon the scientific research angels from the engineering group came up with the design drawings of the robot, the angels from the informatics group completed the system programming, and finally the angels from the materials science group started assembly and production. The finished robot has inherited the unique aesthetics of the female angel. It looks like a giant sword with flying wings. It is 2 meters high and is similar to the Skyblade battleship, but it is more bloated. Its overall color is silver, with some gorgeous golden decorations on its body, and a blue prismatic gemstone in the middle of its body. This gem is the core program carrier of the robot, which can distinguish various ores and resource types. In addition, it can also emit a material decomposition ray to decompose the elements in the ore, kick out the impurities in the body and recombine them, which saves a lot of processes. This kind of robot was named Tianjian Engineer Type 1 by Binghua. For the first time, a female angel personally operated the machine for production and assembly. After the first batch of Tianjian Engineer Type 1 rolled off the production line, Tianjian Engineer Type 1 began to be produced and assembled by itself. A month later, the Type 1 Tianjian engineers seemed to have turned on the super clone mode, and their number directly exceeded the number of female angels, reaching a huge number of 50,000. They are scattered across the vast asteroid area, collecting various resources, and then automatically return after being filled with various resources needed by the Sky Sword Legion. In this way, under Binghua's order, frantic production of the Heavenly Sword Engineer Type 1 began, and the main force in building the new Heavenly Sword Legion base gradually shifted from female angels to robots. During the construction of the base, Binghua also received a communication request from his father Yoni. The father and daughter had a tacit understanding and only talked about some daily life, especially Binghua's father Yoni, who said that Binghua's mother missed Binghua very much. Since Binghua left Tiancheng and lost contact with her, Binghua's mother has been worried about Binghua's safety. Now Binghua sees her mother again and misses her very much. Listening to his mother nagging in the projection, telling him to pay attention to safety and take care of himself, Binghua's eyes turned red and she shed tears. For the first time, Binghua felt an impulse in her heart. Forget that he now shoulders the oath to rebuild the Heavenly Sword Legion, abandon his idea of fighting for freedom and equality for female angels, give up his dream of seeing all the scenery in the universe, and return home to fall into the warm embrace of his mother. However, this impulse only appeared in Binghua's heart for a moment, and was extinguished by Binghua. Nowadays, she is no longer the girl who hated all kinds of troubles and kept to herself in Merlot Academy. She has joined the struggle between female angels and male angels for the right to speak, and has become deeply involved in it. Finally, his father Yojini told Binghua that he planned to take Binghua's mother and two brothers to leave the angel galaxy and settle in the Magna galaxy under the rule of the expatriate Wang Huasui. Binghua knew very well why his father left the angel galaxy. It was because of the last attack on Tiancheng Academy of Sciences by a female angel. As a result, Huaye, who seized the opportunity, wielded a butcher's knife against the older generation of angels who were dissatisfied with him, and some of the older generation of angels who were almost affected chose to leave Tiancheng. On the day they were saved, Huaye was accused of an unfounded crime. Binghua's father Yoni is one of them. As one of the previous commanders of the Angel Legion, although he has resigned, he still has a great reputation in the Angel Legion. This was exactly what Huaye was afraid of. As a last resort, Yoni could only take his wife, children to leave Huaye's rule. After ending the communication with his father and mother, Binghua returned to being the resolute commander of the Heavenly Sword Legion. Binghua believes that with the Heavenly Sword Legion in his hands, it won't take long to reborn Nirvana and become stronger than before. When Binghua's crazy robots built the Heavenly Sword Legion base, Kesha, Liangbing, Hexi, and Binghua are all in similar situations now. They all stay low-key in remote galaxies of their choice, build their own bases and live as happy senior homegirls. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 56. Time passed slowly, and Binghua spent 2 years in boring construction life and work. But the situation in Angel Nebula is getting worse and worse, and the expatriate kings no longer follow Huaye's orders and go their own way. The overall strength of the powerful angel civilization is divided into 10, and they are also hostile to each other. During this period, the expatriate kings were no longer content with the 400,000 strong legion, and began to expand their army crazily, with their overall strength expanding day by day. At the same time, these expatriate kings also began to study the first-generation god-making project materials obtained from Kesha, hoping to be promoted to a god body as soon as possible. Every expatriate king believes that there will be a melee sweeping across the entire Angel Nebula, and whoever is promoted to the divine body first will have the greatest initiative. But these have nothing to do with Binghua now. The headquarters base of Tianjian Legion has finally been established. A large area has been opened up among countless floating asteroids, and a splendid building complex spanning dozens of kilometers is located here. The architectural style of the base is inherited from the majestic, gorgeous, and holy style of Merlot Home and Merlot Academy on Merlot Star. At the center of the base is a square prismatic spire with a height of 1,000 meters and a golden sword-like pattern on its surface, just like a giant sword standing around the proud world. Under this building is a square several kilometers wide with neat white bricks on the ground. There is an avenue behind the square that extends to the outermost edge of the base, and there are large palaces and castles on both sides of the road. In the middle area between all the palaces, picky female angels even planted plant seeds found from nowhere. Various trees and flowers bloomed everywhere. The newly built Tianjian base is more like a gorgeous palace garden than a military base. Binghua once expressed the opinion that this was too flashy, but she received strong protests from the female angels under her command. In addition, building it like this did not hinder the original functions of the Tianjian base, so Binghua finally left it alone. In addition, Binghua is not someone who doesn't know how to enjoy things. Since everyone wants to do this, then let's do it. Neat footsteps sounded in the central square of Tianjian base. A female angel wearing silver metal light armor with white wings folded behind her back and a red tasseled helmet walked into the square with neat and enchanting steps. From a distance, it looked like a torrent of metal crushing her. Binghua, who was on the only high platform in the square, looked at the scene with great relief, because today the Heavenly Sword Legion would be reborn in her hands. After about 20,000 female angel warriors were neatly arranged into two square formations in the huge square, Binghua took a few steps forward and walked to the stage and spoke. Sisters, today is a very happy day because we have successfully completed the establishment of the Sky Sword Legion. 2 years ago, the commander of the Sky Sword Legion, Ella, died on Marrow Star, and the Sky Sword Legion was almost completely wiped out. At that time, we only had thousands of angel sisters left alive. But even so, Huaya didn't intend to let us go. He chased our sisters and ran around like mice in the universe. However, with the joint efforts of many sisters, we successfully endured this difficult period and settled down in the cross system. In the process of getting rid of the pursuing soldiers, I made a vow that no matter how difficult it was, I would rebuild the Heavenly Sword Legion. The many female angels below were all staring intently at Binghua's figure on the high platform. They only felt that Binghua, who spoke at the beginning, began to look different from usual. His figure seemed to be taller and straighter, just like a flag guiding everyone in the direction of progress. Binghua glanced at the silent square formation below, and then spoke loudly again. I, Angel Binghua, announce here. The Heavenly Sword Legion will be reborn today, here. At this moment. We are the new Heavenly Sword Legion and the continuation of the old Heavenly Sword Legion. From now on, we will not experience failure, only victory will always be with us. Binghua raised her hand and held it in vain. The flaming sword appeared in her hand the next moment. She pointed the sword in her hand towards the sky and shouted the new slogan of the Sky Sword Legion. The Heavenly Sword Legion is invincible and invincible in all battles. The female angel warrior below also shouted in cooperation. Every attack is invincible and every battle is invincible. In this way, the reorganization ceremony of the Heavenly Sword Legion was completed so simply. As for this slogan, Binghua also pulled it out of his memory. The speech was also spoken casually by Binghua, and the effect might be average, but Binghua, who was standing on the high platform, could clearly see the rekindled fiery brilliance in the eyes of the remaining female angel warriors of the original Heavenly Sword Legion. In the eyes of these female angels who survived the Battle of Marrow Star, the Heavenly Sword Legion is more than just a name, it is also a kind of honor. It was the glory that Ella, the leader of the Sky Sword Legion, exchanged for her life. She exchanged her own fall for the survival of the 100,000 army that destroyed Huaya and the remaining thousands of people in the Sky Sword Legion. Both Binghua and they all keep this honor and life-saving grace in mind and are proud of it, because their legion commander is noble and a female angel worthy of their respect. After the Sky Sword Legion completed its reorganization, the composition of the legion also inherited the original Sky Sword Legion. The new legion commander was naturally Binghua himself. As the commander who led the remnants of the Heavenly Sword Legion to escape Huaya's pursuit, no one would have any objections to taking up the position of legion commander. In addition, there are no obvious factional disputes among the female angels today, so no one will raise objections. Then Binghua appointed Angel Ran as his direct command officer to manage all angel combat teams, with command authority only one level lower than Binghua. It is almost equivalent to the power of the deputy army commander. If Binghua doesn't do anything, Angel Ran even has the authority to mobilize the entire Tianjian Legion combat force. As for another important position in the Legion, Tactical Analyst Officer, Binghua appointed Angel Lan to take charge of more than 500 scientific research angels in the Tianjian Legion and be responsible for various scientific research and construction tasks. There was a reason why Binghua chose these two female angels. Angel Ran and Angel Len were both veteran warriors who had survived the Battle of Marrow Star and had experience in leading a team to fight. Angel Ran, in particular, has a very decisive character. He served as the commander for a period of time when Binghua was in a coma and has certain command experience. Although Angel Len has good mental qualities, her personality is a bit soft and she is a relatively emotional angel, so Binghua gave her the position of tactical analyst, which is equivalent to a logistics manager. The remaining first-level guard angels, second-level guard angels, and Binghua were all selected from the female angel veterans who survived the battle on Marrow Star. They quickly established the current command framework of the Heavenly Sword Legion. After explaining some of the future development plans of the Heavenly Sword Legion and some construction tasks, Binghua sent the two highly motivated women away. As for Binghua herself, she plans to retreat for a period of time to conduct research. The last brief battle with Hawaii's third-generation super soldier Suri gave Binghua a lot of new ideas in her mind. Recently, I have been a little worried about the character settings of some supporting characters. Friends who are interested can join the discussion group to discuss it together. The group number is 717220613. The answer to the verification information is the title of the book. Also thanks for the reward of 700 book coins in total for the fragments of memories scattered all over the sky. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 57. Binghua stayed in his private laboratory and began to recall the details of the Battle of Marrow Star. He even specifically retrieved the wartime dark information data from the Sky Sword Legion flagship from the female angels database. After watching the battle in Rising Sun from beginning to end and the final moment when Ella detonated the concentrated energy reactor of Marrow's home star and fell, Binghua discovered from the video the huge gap between the military strength of female angels and male angels, especially the comparison of high-end combat power. If there had been a third-generation super soldier on the Skyblade battleship that could compete with the Rising Sun, Skyblade would not have fallen, and there would not have been such huge casualties during the retreat. Even the previous commander of the Heavenly Sword Legion, Ella, would not be trapped in the command hall by male angels and die. But thinking about these now is not very useful. Binghua does not have the ability to solve this problem for the time being. But what Binghua didn't know was that Hexi had been working day and night to decipher the super soldier information stolen from Tiancheng Academy of Science, and had now made great progress. Binghua shook his head to throw the above thoughts out of his mind, and began to optimize some formulas in the electric energy conversion algorithm. This was Binghua's idea that came to him during the battle with Suri, and now he has just corrected some flaws in the electrical energy conversion algorithm. This job is not difficult, but it is boring and requires a lot of time. After completing it, Binghua tried it with the flaming sword. The intensity of the electrical energy exported is much higher than before, and the duration is also much longer. After completion, Binghua uploaded this algorithm to the Angels public database for all angels to research and use. Then Binghua finally started researching the weapons he envisioned to counter the third-generation super soldiers. Binghua's expectations were not high. He didn't expect to be able to defeat the third-generation warrior. At least he couldn't be instantly killed by someone with a sword like last time. During the long period of time that Binghua was studying weapons that could fight against the third-generation super warriors, the Skyward Sword Legion was also booming. Angel Ran was very competent as an order messenger. Every time she made a decision, she would notify Binghua via secret communication, and she would only implement it after obtaining the consent of Binghua, the Legion commander. During the years when Binghua stayed in his own laboratory, Angel Ran asked female angels with experience in fighting male angels to train the combat abilities of angel recruits. At the same time, female angel warriors who are good at communication and have strong social skills are sent to secretly sneak into the galaxies under the rule of the Angel King in the galaxies around the Kra Galaxy to recruit soldiers. The Tianjian Scientific Research Department where Angel Lan is located is also working hard to build a new flagship of the Tianjian Legion, a new generation of Tianjian battleship improved by the Tianji Legion, a celestial battleship named Tianjian 2. 5 years have passed in a blink of an eye, and Binghua's anti-third generation super soldier weapon has not yet been developed. Hexy's plan to decipher the male angel super soldier gene has achieved great success. He 11 not only optimized the first generation super soldier genes possessed by female angels today, but also made the physical strength of female angels reach the level of male angels. In addition, it also broke the limits of the female angel super gene, giving the female angel the ability to step into the second generation of super warriors. On the day Hexy succeeded in cracking the male super gene project, he contacted Binghua to share his joy and great sense of accomplishment with her. Then Kesha's research also made great progress. Kesha sorted out and streamlined the vast amount of knowledge she possessed over the years. Created a simple algorithmic language that can drive dark energy without understanding the principal conversion of dark energy. Kesha calls it a sacred language. Kesha also uploaded her research results into the Angels shared database, and angels of any level have the right to study and view them. Binghua felt a little impatient, seeing that 2 of the current 4 angel army commanders had made great research achievements. She herself was still tinkering with her anti-third generation super soldier weapon, but Binghua looked at the 2 establishment diagrams on the projection screen in front of her and raised the corners of her mouth slightly. When this thing is built, I will never lose like last time without the ability to fight back. Binghua is still brooding over his failure to escape Suri's hand, and hopes to find his place again the next time he sees Suri and avenge Ella. After Kesha published the sacred language, Liangbing also made great progress in the application technology of space micro-wormholes, and also proposed the micro-wormhole combat theory, which Liangbing called the first-generation micro-wormhole combat method. Seeing that he 11, Kesha, and Liangbing have all made great progress in their respective fields, and he is the only one left, this makes Binghua feel that he has fallen behind. Unwilling to be reconciled, Binghua worked day and night and finally produced his own anti-third generation super soldier weapon suit 2 years after Liangbing's micro-wormhole tactics appeared. On a stand in the laboratory, a gorgeous full-body heavy armor with a metallic matte white color and a small amount of gold was displayed there. This armor has a full coverage helmet with wing-like upturned decorations on both sides of the helmet. The metal visor on the face is like a V-shape, which can perfectly protect the entire head. As for the heavy armor on the body, the thickness of the breastplate, gauntlets, boots, leggings, skirt armor, and composite shoulder armor on the shoulders are all as exaggerated as the thickness of the knuckles. Binghua uses a structure like fish scales in the heavy armor joints, abdomen, and waist, etc. to ensure its overall flexibility to the greatest extent. The ice flower inside the armor also has a spiritually dense shock-absorbing device, which can greatly weaken the impact transmitted through the armor. Binghua also added a separate weapon calculation cloud to the armor's heavy boots and arm guards, which contained electric energy derivation formulas compiled in sacred language. As for the material of this armor, it is made of an alloy smelted from red gold and various other rare metals, and has a hardness comparable to that of a flaming sword. The raw materials of this armor alone are enough to make more than 10 flaming swords. This is the result of Binghua trying to streamline it as much as possible. In Binghua's original plan, it was made of red gold. Next to the heavy armor, there is a 1-meter-high heavy shield and a heavy lance nearly 2 meters long. The shield was directly made of red gold, and Binghua didn't cut any corners. There was a golden pattern of a sword falling from the sky in the middle of the front of the shield. This heavy shield has a layer-by-layer structure, and each layer has a special shock-absorbing layer to minimize the impact on the holder. In addition, this shield also has a deformation function, which can be expanded to a larger size, allowing Binghua to cover his whole body when he squats down to defend. By the way, Binghua also made an energy defense stand and put it on the shield, which can reduce part of the power impact or energy attack. The final point comes, and that is the weapon that comes with this armor, a heavy lance more than 2 meters long. Its front end is a tapered shape with gradually thickening four edges, followed by a spiral pattern grip that is more than 2 fingers wide. This lance has a total of 3 modes. The first is the current lance mode. The second mode is to retract the tapered gun head backwards and separate and combine to transform into a 1.5 meter long broad-blade giant sword. The third method is to activate the built-in energy storage device and electric energy derivation formula, and launch a continuous high-voltage lightning stream forward to paralyze the enemy. As for the design of the weapons and the appearance model of the shield, if I have time, I will draw them and pass them to the group. Of course, the author's drawing skills are very poor. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 58. Although the materials for this set of armor and supporting weapons and equipment are precious, the inherent technological content is definitely not low. How could something that Binghua spent several years designing inch by inch be so simple? Just because it can maintain the wearer's flexibility to the greatest extent and at the same time ensure defense without blind spots, Binghua consumes countless brain cells. After spending a month to completely figure out the composition of this armor, Binghua Zhan stood in front of the hanging armor. Starting the material micro-wormhole transport technology, analyzing the target, analyzing. As countless intersecting, blazing red lines lit up on Binghua's body, it formed the appearance of a pair of heavily armored armor. Some parts of the armor hanging there began to disintegrate and disappear into nothingness. At the same time, pieces of thick white metal armor began to gather and appear, and they adhered tightly to Binghua's body, until finally the helmet visor closed and completely blocked Binghua's sight. But then the metal visor automatically opened a V-shaped bending gap, and Binghua regained his sight again. I saw that Binghua, who was originally wearing a long white dress, completely changed her appearance at this moment. She was about 1.8 meters tall and her body was wrapped in metal armor. Just like a steel god of war who came out of myths and legends, just standing there quietly, a thick and indestructible aura immediately stood out. Binghua tried to take a few steps to stretch his body, but felt a little strange. Because her whole body was covered with thick armor or fitted armor plates, she felt like her body was being restrained. Looking down at the palm that was completely wrapped in metal and the sharp claw-like fingertips at the front, Binghua squeezed it and felt satisfied because there was no obstruction. Then Binghua began to perform various evasive and attacking movements, and also took a flaming sword and began to practice swordsmanship. Next came the impact resistance test. Binghua started the test directly with 1,000 tons of impact force, and finally added 1,000,000 tons of armor before slightly deforming. The armor would not show obvious damage until it reached the tens of millions of tons level. After that, Binghua was distressed and no more materials were added to it. As for the sharp blade cutting Binghua, there is no test, because being able to withstand tens of millions of tons of pressure impact does not mean that it can withstand tens of thousands of tons of sharp blade cutting. Binghua can still distinguish this clearly. Finally, after a series of movements and impact tests, Binghua also discovered some minor shortcomings of his heavy armor, such as the inability to use two flexible sword moves and dodge movements. However, Binghua believed that this was nothing in the face of its insane defense. It was estimated that his opponents would have a headache in the future because of his defense. Since it is an armor made to fight against the third-generation super soldiers and the male angel army, let's call you the first-generation army breaking heavy armor. I hope you can wish me to break through thousands of armies in the future and become invincible. Binghua expressed his greatest expectations for this army-breaking armor. In these years of perfecting the first-generation army-breaking armor, Binghua did not have no other gains. In terms of alloy materials alone, Binghua explored several good alloy formulas. The result of this is that the armor defense capabilities of the female angel warriors of the Heavenly Sword Legion have been improved overall. For a period of time after that, Binghua continued to perfect some details and adjustments of Pajun, such as inscribing the sacred language dark energy driving algorithm invented by Kesha on the weapons and arm guards. Regarding the sacred language, Binghua quickly became familiar with its operating principle. It may be due to Binghua's unique talent. The first thing that Binghua thought of was how to maximize the destructive power of the sacred language. As for another major event, Binghua is looking forward to this very much, completing his advancement to the second generation super warrior. As early as a few years ago, Binghua received 10 pieces of algorithm information and various required resources required for the advancement of the second generation super warrior transmitted from Hexi through the insect gate. At that time, Binghua was worrying about the design issues of his first generation army breaking armor, so he did not advance immediately. Instead, he let Angel Ran and Angel Lan complete the advancement first. Binghua did not move or make any announcement about the remaining resources that were enough for 8 people to advance to the second generation super warriors. Except for the one he needed to use as the Legion commander, Binghua already had the remaining 7 resources in his heart. Made preliminary plans. Arriving in front of the warehouse door inside the Heavenly Sword Legion base, the 8 female angel warriors standing guard instantly straightened their bodies and shouted in unison. Legion Commander. It's okay, you continue to stand guard, I want to go in. After Binghua finished speaking, he stepped forward and the silver door sensor device of the warehouse automatically scanned for incoming people. The identity has been confirmed, Sky Sword Legion Commander Binghua, the authority has been approved. The giant silver metal door automatically rose and opened. Binghua looked at the metal door. It was 3 meters thick. He estimated in his mind that it would take him several minutes to break through it even with his flaming sword. Entering the warehouse, the heavy metal door behind him slowly fell and closed again. Binghua casually glanced at the spacious warehouse. After passing through an area where neatly stacked metal blocks were stacked, Binghua came to the deepest part of the warehouse, where 8 1-meter-long silver metal boxes were placed, with golden wing-like patterns on the boxes. Why do you make it so beautiful? Otherwise it's just something that needs to be thrown away after use. Binghua vomited something bad and reached out to open the box, only to see an injection with orange burning light placed inside. It looked like a burning star in the universe and looked extremely hot. Without any nonsense, Binghua picked up the injection and pricked it on her arm while frowning slightly. As soon as the thought came to her mind that this was the first time in her life that she had been pricked by a needle, her vision went dark. In the extremely dark space, without any sound or light, Binghua suddenly appeared here. She did not panic at all, but felt as relaxed as if she had returned home. Calculating one's own situation, resolving. Binghua didn't know what was going to happen, so she took the first step to figure out her own situation. You must know that she had also done research on super genes. The calculation is completed, and it is detected that unknown super genes and energy sources are injected into the body, which is eroding and changing the original super gene structure. Binghua then asked, is it harmful? Tested, no. What is talking to Binghua now is the microbiological computer in Binghua's body, also called a gene engine. It is like the subconscious of a super soldier, a housekeeper program on the computer that will detect various conditions of the current body or execute various algorithmic programs. Of course, Binghua still has to do the calculations himself, but the super soldier's brain itself is equivalent to a supercomputer, and it doesn't take much time to calculate his own situation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 59. Binghua waited for about an hour. During this period, Binghua was not idle, but calculated some algorithm formulas that had not been completed before, such as the stellar energy drive algorithm. Binghua has been exposed to this technology for decades, and Binghua is not without gains. She has summed up a conversion algorithm, and with the recent emergence of sacred languages, Binghua believes that it can be used. It won't take long to get to the battle. As he thought about it, Binghua found that his calculation speed was getting faster and faster. He could now complete a problem and formula in 10 minutes as if he had taken Suanmei chewing gum. Binghua immediately thought of something and quickly rechecked his condition. The unknown supergene has completely eroded and modified its own original supergene. After testing, the calculation speed of the own genetic engine has been greatly increased, the physical strength has been increased unknown, and the strength has been increased unknown. Binghua was not surprised either. Physical strength and strength needed to be tested by himself. Only the improvement in computing power could be directly calculated by himself. After Binghua regained consciousness, he tried to clench his fist, and felt that the air seemed to creak as he squeezed it. The strength has increased by at least 10 times, and Binghua knows that this is not the limit, and the rest needs to be developed by himself. Not to mention the improvement in physical strength, the body is as tough as steel and cannot be damaged by ordinary weapons. This is almost the standard configuration of the second-generation super warrior. Binghua believes that his current self can even beat 100 of his former self. This is the qualitative gap caused by the crushing technology. With the thought, the electrical energy conversion algorithm was activated. The next moment, the dazzling electric snake twisted and jumped on Binghua's white palm, making the air crackle with electricity. The continuous dark energy supports the conversion of electrical energy. Binghua can't believe that he can do this. This can no longer be said to be an electric energy derivation formula, but should be called lightning control. And the most important point is that Binghua did not use the weapon's built-in computing cloud to improve its computing power at this moment. Binghua felt that it was time to reposition her current combat effectiveness. Binghua felt vaguely excited in her heart. She couldn't wait to find a target to test her current combat effectiveness. The sound of tidy footsteps sounded in the top hall of the towering obelisk-shaped building in the center of the Tianjian base. Binghua sat at the highest point in the hall, on the metal throne that symbolized the position of the Legion commander. Behind it was a floating golden giant sword. There was a relief wall with wing patterns next to the sword blade. The space of the hall below is as wide as 4 football fields. The light projected from the dome tens of meters above the ground is just right, illuminating every corner of the hall. At this moment, at the bottom of the hall, female angels wearing silver light armor and red tassel helmets stood neatly on both sides, just like when Binghua attended the internal meeting of the Heavenly Sword Legion hosted by Ella in Maro homeland. Binghua shook his head to throw away the inexplicable sadness in his heart, and raised his eyes to look down at the many guarding angels below, as well as Angel Ran and Angel Lan, who were standing at the front of the queue on the left and right without helmets. Okay, all the sisters are here. As for why the Legion meeting is being held, there are a few things to announce. First of all, I am a bit incompetent as the Legion commander. In recent years, Angel Ran has been managing many things of the Tianjian Legion. As for the effect, the sisters all see it. Therefore, as the commander of the Legion, I gave Angel Ran the authority to advance to the second-generation super soldier. The second thing is that Angel Lan has led the scientific research angel troops to build the flagship of the Sky Sword Legion over the years, and has also been given the authority to advance to the second-generation super warrior. Binghua's voice echoed in the entire hall to ensure that everyone could hear it. After announcing the above 2 things, Binghua felt that after being at home for so many years, it was necessary to understand the current situation of Angel Nebula. So he started to ask. Angel Ran, how is the situation in Angel Nebula recently? Angel Ran took a step forward and walked to the middle of the guarding angels standing on both sides below. He raised his right hand to his chest and saluted, then looked up at Binghua on the throne and said, reporting to the commander of the army, the situation in Angel Nebula has been chaotic for more than 10 years, and one of the 10 angel kings has been destroyed. Now the remaining 9 kings are entrenched in various galaxies in the Angel Nebula. Among them, the heavenly killing King Huasui, the heavenly killing King Huaji, and the heavenly destroying King Huashang are the most powerful. What about Huaye? How did he react? He can't just watch the foreign king's power grow, right? Binghua put her finger on her smooth chin and asked curiously. She felt that a lot of big things had happened in the more than 10 years she had been a homegirl. She was very curious about Huaye's current reaction. She wondered if he could still be leisurely. Sit on the throne and enjoy yourself. Legion Commander, I am also very confused about this. Huaye has gathered most of his troops to defend Tiancheng since the Battle of Marrow Star. Apart from issuing a royal order, he has not made any other moves. What royal order? Angel Ran didn't speak but directly called up a projection. In the picture is Huaye, who is dressed in a Gothic composite ornate armor. He looks confident in the picture, and with a kind of power as the King of Angels, he speaks a very formulaic king's order. The general idea is that in order to prevent the few expatriate kings from being able to deter Xiao Xiao who peeked into the territory of angel civilization, the angel kings with relatively scarce resources were expanded to have a legion of 200,000 men. They even provided a lot of resource support, but in the end, before the resources were in place, one of the angel kings was beheaded and died, and all his legions were absorbed by the Chinese businessman, the King of Destruction. This is something that only happened recently, but it is something serious. This is the first third-generation super soldier to die since the fall of Huake. The beheading of another angel king by the heavenly destroyer King Huashang also revealed a lot of information. The first is that Huashang's combat power has been properly promoted to the level of a generation of gods. Otherwise, how could it be possible to easily behead a third-generation angel king? Moreover, the angel legion under the Chinese merchant easily suppressed the legion under the fallen angel king and quickly completed the recruitment. Now, Mingtian destroyer King Huashang is the strongest foreign king force. With the angel legion he has recruited, his strength has reached 1.1 million, which is about to reach the standing force of the Shangtian Palace Group. This fully reveals the ambition of Huashang, the heavenly destroyer king. This strength is obviously the result of long preparation. But the strange thing is that Huaye just watched the destruction of the foreign king without saying a word. Binghua leaned back and pondered for a moment, and began to deduce in his mind the reason why Huaye was so silent. After a while, Binghua showed a clear look. It seems that Huaye's brain is still there. He should have the same idea as us, but it's not that easy to be a fisherman. Super Seminary Angel Binghua. Author, Shifeng Si Wang. Chapter 60. After the Legion meeting, Binghua returned to his laboratory and continued to improve his army-breaking armor, heavy lance, and accompanying shield. Binghua had a hunch that the real war would not be far away, so she wanted to perfect some details of the Pajun armor as soon as possible to prepare for emergencies. In fact, the remaining work is very simple, which is to remove some details and unsightly areas on the armor, so that some parts can be joined more naturally. Among them, the most wasteful of brain cells is the deformation function of the heavy lance. Originally, Binghua's design was to pursue practicality, but for some reason, he suddenly felt that the finished product's appearance was not very good looking, so he started designing the appearance again. The final appearance of the lance has changed a lot from the previous one. It looks more like an extended sword and spear than a spear. This weapon also has two modes. One is a giant sword that folds into a length of 1 meter and 3 meters and a blade thickness of nearly 8 centimeters. Another mode is that the hilt of the sword becomes longer, and the upper and lower sword blades are separated and combined forward to form a sword and spear with a total length of more than 2 meters. There are 2 rows of sacred language codes slightly wider than a finger engraved on both sides of the sword and spear. 2 of them are lightning-driven codes improved by the electric energy derivation formula, and the other 2 are dark energy-driven codes. At the same time, Binghua also told Hexi and the others about this method of applying sacred language and provided an application plan. The plan is as follows. The sacred code driven by dark energy is engraved on the body of the flaming sword. After activation, the sharpness of the flaming sword can be greatly improved in a short period of time. However, this relatively passive method of driving dark energy is actually very wasteful. Even with the dark energy conversion speed of the second-generation super soldier gene engine, it cannot be maintained for a long time. If driven by Binghua, who is knowledgeable and proficient in the dark energy conversion algorithm, the dark energy blessing can even be maintained for more than an hour. But even this can be regarded as a trump card for guarding female angels. However, because the flaming sword is only equipped with a few guard angels, this trump card is destined to not be popularized. One day, Huaye suddenly announced a royal order to the entire angel nebula, reprimanding the heavenly destroyer King Hua Shang for killing his fellow expatriate king, calling it an unforgivable act. At the same time, Huaye decided to implement the trial order established by Huake when he was in power, and ordered the kings from each system to send 200,000 troops to jointly kill the King of Heaven, Hua Shang. As soon as this order was issued, Angel Nebula immediately exploded. No one knew what kind of nerve Huaye had to suddenly issue such an order. However, the result is obvious. The expatriate kings of each galaxy are holding back and maintaining a wait-and-see attitude. At the same time, they continue to expand their legions and allocate resources from their affiliated civilizations to strengthen their own military strength. However, Huaye's next behavior surprised all the foreign kings, including Kesha, who had been lurking, and He-11, the legion commanders of several female angels. Huaye mobilized millions of soldiers and a large number of attached civilized fleets, and ordered the god Slaughter Sumari to lead 200,000 troops as the vanguard, while he led an army of 800,000 as the main force to attack the Abor galaxy, the base camp of the heavenly destroyer King Huazhang. Seeing Huaye's declaration of war on him, Hua Shang, the king of destruction of heaven, openly spoke out openly. It is said that under the rule of Huaye, who only knows about pleasure, the overall strength of the angelic civilization is declining day by day. Sooner or later, it will lose all the foundation accumulated by the previous angel King Huake for thousands of years. When the time comes, what will be used to resist the invasion of foreign enemies? It is also claimed that under the Tiangong order created by Huaye, civilizations exploit each other and plunder and attack each other endlessly. Let countless peace-loving civilizations complain. Hua Shang, the heavenly destroyer king, complies with the public opinion of Angel Nebula and wants to destroy the so-called Order of the Heavenly Palace and restore the prestige of the Angel clan. In fact, everyone has a clear mind and knows that this is the case. However, at any time, intelligent civilization always likes to put a fig leaf over its own behavior. Huaye's attack on the Chinese merchants is actually easy to understand. Huaye was a little anxious, because the Chinese merchants' troops already exceeded 1 million. If they were allowed to increase, they would exceed the 1.5 million troops Tiancheng had on hand. The trial war between the heavenly destroyer King Hua Shang and the angel orthodox heavenly palace King Huaye attracted the attention of more than just the angel kings of the Angel Nebula. It also includes the eyes of major civilizations outside the Angel Nebula. You must know that the angel civilization is actually not a weak civilization in the entire universe. Nowadays, this powerful civilization is experiencing large-scale internal strife. I don't know how many civilizations that were once suppressed by the angel civilization are secretly laughing. Even some ordinary god-making civilizations around the Angel Nebula are thinking about whether to intervene in the internal war of the angel civilization and support a relatively useless angel king to ascend to the throne. In fact, Huaye is very good. In the past 100 years since he came to power, the angel civilization has never expanded. Instead, he has been enjoying himself inside the Angel Nebula. Now he has started fighting among himself. There are even several civilizations that are planning to give Huaye some support in terms of resources if he loses the battle, to prevent other ambitious angel kings from taking over the throne after Huaye is kicked off the throne. The eyes of all the forces are cast on this war regarding the future direction of Angel Nebula. At the same time, they are also secretly guessing whether it is Hua Shang, the king of heavenly destruction, who stepped on the corpse of the king of heavenly palace to ascend to power, or whether it was Huaye, the king of heavenly palace, who killed the rebel king to prove the power of the angels. The majesty of Wang Zhengtong cannot be offended. Even Binghua didn't know who would win in this battle because she didn't know the information about both sides. On the surface, the heavenly destroyer king has the advantage, because the heavenly destroyer king Hua Shang has been promoted to a generation of gods, and he also has 1,000,000 angel legions and a large number of aerospace-level civilizations waving flags to cheer. Needless to say, what are the calculations of these aerospace-level civilizations? They are taking sides. It is obvious that they are on the side of the King of Destruction, who seems to have the advantage. After several days of waiting, the 200,000 vanguard army led by Huaye's famous killing general Sumari, known as the God of Slaughter, finally came into contact with the vanguard force of the King of Heavenly Destruction. After several days of fierce fighting, everyone was shocked when the news of the battle came out. Sumari broke through the vanguard of the Sky Destroyer King, annihilating 50,000 enemies and capturing 100,000 soldiers. To be honest, this result is a bit scary. The overall strength of the angel legions is actually about the same. Sumari only spent a few days to defeat the 150,000 forward troops of the King of Destruction. This was too fast. Sumari then led her vanguard army to conquer several star systems in the Eber system one after another, cutting a hole in the defense line of the King of Destruction. In the end, the King of Heavenly Destruction personally led his legions to fight, and then he was able to repel Sumari and drive him out of the Able system. But this is enough. Sumari was originally the vanguard, and his mission has been completed. He has found out the combat effectiveness level of the legion under the command of the King of Heavenly Destruction. Next, we just have to wait for the main force of the Tiangong army led by the Tiangong King Huaye to arrive, which is when the King of Destruction will fall. First update today, and second update tomorrow.